Hey everybody, it's your guy Dave here. Welcome back again. This is a Condor plate carrier and Molle vest. And I'm going to use this, not to review it, but I'm going to use this Molle to demonstrate for you several of what I consider the best, or in some way or another, most ideal blades to keep on you to attach to a vest. So let's start with some folders. This is a fantastic knife for duty carry. This does not fit into the Molle, but it's got a nice deep carry clip that attaches right onto the Molle, no problem. Yeah, there we go, assuming you're wearing it. This is a CRKT M16 with a built-in seatbelt cutter and glass break. It's a Tanto serrated edge, and this is the M16 14Z LEK. This is made ideally for law enforcement security. This is a combination of a rescue tool and an effective knife with a long, deep clip that will attach right onto any Molle. There's one. I also think this is a handy little thing to keep stuck in secretly into some Molle. This is a Boker Kalashnikov Mini, and this is a little mini auto with Oz 8 steel, and it's just small enough, made with aluminum scales. You can slip it right into your Molle, and it'll just slide all the way deep in there, and it'll be a little secondary, tertiary holdout blade for you. Of course, when you're wearing the vest and it's filled out, of course, some of these straps are easier. I also think this is another good option. This is the Spyderco Astute. Okay, so that's too big to fit into the Molle, but again, it's got a nice deep clip, slips right onto your Molle, and it's just a good size. I think this is a nice little piece to keep on you. This is a Spyderco Astute. This is a budget Spyderco, but it's got a good action. It's G10, and it's just a nice little sharp blade. This is another great one that hardly takes up any space, only takes up one Molle row for two rows, one slot. That's what I mean to say. The Spyderco Astute. This guy is crazy beefy, but again, it's only going to take up, this is going to take up, let's see, 3 full rows, one slot. This is the CRKT Jumbones. This is almost a 5-inch blade. So if you need almost like a mini machete with you while you're using your vest, this is a great option, the CRKT Jumbones. And again, the clip slips right onto the Molle, and it hardly takes up any room, at least horizontally. Vertically, it takes up 3 rows, but it's a beefy knife. Of course, the ProTech Godfather Operator. This is one of my absolute favorites. This is just a little too wide unless you really have kind of worked your Molle rows out. But short of that, it's just a little too wide. But again, it's got a deep carry clip, and it will only take up about 2.5 to 3 rows and only 1 column. So anything only taking up 1 column is sort of ideal for a vest. Most of us using vests, and you all saw my vest in the last video, most of us using vests have stuff all over them. Most of the Molle's taken up, so anything that takes up only 1 row is pretty ideal to me. The ProTech Godfather Operator series. Of course, this is a Blackhawk, made by Blackhawk, just a small little backup blade, and of course that does fit into the Molle webbing. In fact, I think it's basically made to fit right into the Molle webbing. It seems just about that right size, and it's a great little backup. This is the Blackhawk Hawk Point, and it's a nice little sharp blade with a good thick tight clip, and G10 on one side, steel on the other, and plenty of grip, and this will fit right in there. Of course, CRKT also came out with this. This is the Provoke from Caswell Design. And if you guys haven't seen this yet, I'm sure most of you have, but this is an amazing folding karambit. This is a fantastic, fantastic, really innovative, cool combat tactical knife. And it fits safely in your palm. Of course, it's got the karambit ring, and then one little push of your thumb deploys the karambit blade. And the release is right there, folds right back into place. It has a pocket clip that you can't see when it's flat, but you press on this texture on top and the pocket clip exposes itself. It raises up just enough, and you can clip that right onto your Molle webbing. And it'll sit all the way deep down. So however you want to carry that, and whatever row you want to clip that on, the CRKT Provoke is a very cool option. Of course, the pocket clip can be used for any pocket, but really it's basically made for Molle though. The Molle web will slide right up to the top of it. All right, so that's the folding ones that I like. Let's talk about some multi-tools real quick. I, of course, am a huge fan of the Leatherman. This is the Leatherman Surge. This is a great big beefy multi-tool, and it has this Molle pouch that it comes in, specifically made for Molle. Now, because of how this pouch attaches, it's really designed to be used upside down. You can see that the attachment point is the bottom row. So if you attach this face up, then it's going to obviously pull down and want to pull over. So you want to attach this upside down. This Leatherman sheath is made to attach upside down and then deploy upside down. So you rip down on it and it'll drop the Leatherman out into your hands. So you can see this strap goes right into one row and comes around and snaps onto itself. And there you go. It's attached. You deploy it upside down and the Leatherman will fall into your hand. So that's a great multi-tool to attach if you want a multi-tool on your vest. Let's see what else we got. Of course, the Leatherman shears. These actually come in a holster made specifically for Molle. You can unscrew that, rotate the holster around in any direction you want. It's got a release paddle here on the back. You don't have to take the pocket clip off to deploy the shears. All right, actually that was easier than I thought it was going to be, but it's got this little paddle to push back with your thumb, and that will release the shears. And of course, these are the Leatherman Raptor shears. These are, obviously emergency medical cutting shears with a wire or pipe cutter or rod cutter right there, a glass punch, a oxygen tank wrench, and a seatbelt cutter, which lock up right there. And then of course these fold back into place. So even if you don't want to use the holster that comes with them, you can just attach them with this pocket clip. They sit right on your Molle and super easy to grab out. Good to go. These are very cool, Leatherman Raptor shears. So of course those are great for attaching to Molle. Let's see what else we got. This is made by the Wise Men Company, and this has a great little Kydex sheath that it comes with that can run right through your Molle. and then fold around and attach itself like that. You can grab this out and it simply pulls. This is a crowbar with 2 screw bits, and of course you hold it like that, and it is, you know, don't want to say it's brass knuckles because those are, you know, not ideal to be, not ideally legal to be carried in most places, and they're certainly not usually approved. But it's just a design that happens to be on this tactical crowbar and screwdriver bit. But that being said, this is a pretty handy crowbar and pry bar and device. So that's made by the Wise Men. And then of course, another multi-tool is the SOG. I actually like the SOGs. They are gear driven. If you can see the gears operating right there. So this is gear driven and has safeties and spring-loaded blades. There's your straight blade. There's your saw blade. And of course, those are spring-driven and deployed with thumb studs. But what else is cool is that the SOG holster just has a clip that's really super easy to attach to Molle. Boop. And if you want to keep something face up instead of like the Leatherman face down, this could be a good option. And it's not very thick. It takes up, you know, realistically about, well, full 3 rows, but only about a column and a half going up and down. So that's another cool option as far as multi-tools go. And then of course, fixed blades galore. This is a Cold Steel Counterattack 1 boot knife. And this is a devastating knife to keep on you. You can see that one side is shaped with a groove and the other side is flat. This comes in a Kydex sheath, which can be secured through any of these attachment points, or you can simply clip this up or down to any spot on your vest. If you've got the room to spare and you're into a beefy tactical knife, this is certainly a possible way to go. And if it's difficult to get out of the Molle, that's a sign of a good holster. Of course, you can attach it either way. You could attach it a little bit higher up, deploy it downwards, no problem. And so this Cold Steel Counterattack is a very cool option for attaching to your Molle. Let's get this guy out of here. All right, what else we got? What else we got? This is actually a Schrade, and it's a very cool tactical knife. But there is one problem with the Kydex holster it comes with. Now, this Schrade is double-edged. It's a full-on dagger. You can see that it's got grooves on both sides of the blade. It has a glass punch on the back, and it has this cool Kydex sheath with a push button release. And this push button release slides right into this little groove in the handle, and that's what keeps the knife secured. The clip for it is pretty much ideally sized for Molle. Beautifully sized, but let me be very, very honest with you guys. Here's the problem with this knife. I'm not pushing on the release. The spring tension on this release is not nearly enough to keep it pressed into this little groove. So the problem with this is that it might sit there in that little groove, but any pressure at all will allow it to pop right out because it's curved and this little groove is curved. So there's really no amount of friction in there to hold it in place. You don't really have to bother pushing that. You can just draw this knife. And that, of course, is a less than ideal situation. So if you want to take your chance with a better sheath, you might want to look into this. This is the Schrade SCH F21. It's a great size for a secondary or tertiary backup blade, but it does have sheath issues. Let's see what else. What else we got here? Of course, this is a SE3, and the SE3 mill with G10 scales, a solid steel tip that can break glass, and of course a combo serrated and heavy bellied blade, all blacked out. This uses, I believe this is S35 steel, and it's got a great tactical holster, and you can of course unscrew this clip plate and decide to attach this using any of the attachment holes, or you can use this clip which slides beautifully, just the right size, up into your Molle. Get it to go in there. See, it's got this, if you can see, it's got one hump to clear, and then it's got to clear the second hump. So let's see if we can attach it this way a little bit easier. All of this is, as you guys mostly know, much easier said when you're wearing the vest. There we go. All right, clipped in. There you go. Fantastic tactical knife. You can unscrew the plate and attach the knife either side, or upside down, or right side up. So the SE is another fantastic option. Let's see what else we got. What else we got that could work here? Well, of course, you've got your SOG. A lot of people know about these little SOGs. They can be used as neck knives in some cases. I find them to be a little large for a neck knife. They come with this cool little Kydex sheath you can attach through any of these holes, but you can unscrew this little clip and swap it to any of these rotational directions. So you could mount it that way or at an angle or really any way you want. And the clip is almost ideal for Molle. There we go. Slides right into your Molle. And, well, you know what? I didn't attach it very well because it slid right out. But you can attach this to your Molle pretty securely. And this is another good little self-defense option. Let's see. Okay, this is your K-Bar TDI. This is specifically made for law enforcement and just about specifically made for weapon retention. In fact, I know plenty of people, myself included on occasion, who use this sheath, which is made to go on your inner garrison belt and stay flat, so it actually goes underneath your duty belt. And you would attach this to your weak side. And so if your firearm's on your right and this is on your weak side on your left, or vice versa, and you're somebody's going for your weapon, you can cross draw with this big beefy serrated blade and get to work. Or of course you can swap what side the clip is on. You can use it that way. You can cross draw and underhand it and get to business that way. But either way, if you don't want to use this on a garrison, on like an inner belt, you can use this Molle sheath. And this Molle sheath is specifically meant to attach to your vest. It's got two Molle straps that attach with both Velcro and snaps. So this stays extremely, extremely secure. That doesn't even really allow for any, because of the Velcro, doesn't really allow for any give in the straps that it's attaching to. So either up or down, and of course you can attach the straps backwards, so you could have it down or up that way, however you want it, either side. this is a great option and a very, very effective knife for an emergency situation with law enforcement in close combat and weapon retention. And then, of course, the last one is probably not ideal for duty use at all. I can't imagine who would ever approve this, but this is a hell of a knife to attach to a vest. And as you can see, the Kydex sheath it comes with is actually made specifically to attach to your Molle. It's got 2 Molle friendly straps, and the sheath connection point is removable, and you can attach it at any of these points along here. This is the Spartan Blades Damascus, which is a serious fixed blade knife with some great weight, fantastic scales. You can choke up using this finger choil here, and this is a thick, beefy, serious combat blade. In fact, it uses one of the same principles as K-Bar uses with their Kydex sheaths. You can see this is another K-Bar here, uses the same thing, sort of this thumb release unlocking point that releases the knife. Spartan uses the exact same thing. You push down on that release and that will allow the knife to draw. It won't pull out without releasing that. So this knife is pretty serious. I don't know what department or agency or company would ever allow you to carry something like this. That is probably not a realistic thing, but if you're just designing your own vest for the fun of outdoorsmanship or whatever else you might be doing with it, man, this Spartan Damascus is a no joke fixed blade knife, and the sheath is absolutely ideal for attaching to Molle. And finally, one last thing, it's not a knife. The Streamlight ProTac 90 is a 90-degree flashlight with a push button up here on the top corner. And what's so great about this is that the clip allows it to attach either up or down. And this is ideal for throwing onto a Molle strap because this will give you hands-free light wherever you happen to be looking and working. If you're trying to do tickets and you need a light for your citation book, if you are using your hands for something else and you need on-scene light, this is a great option because it will just face forward or wherever you happen to be looking, and you can basically attach it anywhere. So the Streamlight ProTac 90. And that's going to do it. That's my suggestions for what you can attach to a Molle vest. And hope that was helpful. Hope that gave some of you any ideas if you happen to be looking for a good knife or something to fill an empty spot on your carrier. That's it for me. Dave out. Everyone be safe. See y'all soon.